You don't belong here. Get out now, before I call security. People like you don't stay here. This lobby isn't for everyone, especially not you. Move, or I'll have you dragged out in front of everyone. Claire's voice cuts through the lobby like a whip. You can't stand here. This is not your place. Get out before I call security. Her tone is loud, sharp, dripping with anger. Every head in the lobby turns. The elegant chatter dies instantly. Guests freeze, eyes darting to the commotion. Naomi Williams, early 30s, elegant black coat, calm posture, stands at the counter. She doesn't shout back. Her voice is low, even, almost too calm for the tension. I have a reservation. Confirmed. Sterling Crest Hotel. Today. Claire leans forward over the counter, jaw tight, eyes narrowing. Reservation? Don't lie to me. These suites are for members, for people who actually belong here. You don't. Gasps ripple through the crowd. A businessman by the fireplace whispers to his wife. She didn't even check the system, she's just throwing her out. Claire slams her palm against the counter, louder this time. Do I need to say it again? Leave. Now. Or I'll have you dragged out in front of everyone. Naomi's phone buzzes on the marble counter. A message lights up the screen. Don't leave. I'm almost there. Mr. Hale. Claire sees the text, scoffs, and raises her voice so everyone hears. Oh, what? Calling for backup? Gonna cry for someone to save you? Pathetic. This hotel isn't for people like you. Now move, before I throw you out myself. The two lobby guards glance at each other and start walking over, tension building. Guests whisper, some raising their phones to film, sensing something big is about to happen. Naomi doesn't move. Her gaze stays fixed on Claire, calm but cutting. Call whoever you want, Naomi says softly. But you'll regret shouting at me like that. Claire's laugh is sharp and mocking as she waves for the guards. Oh, I'll regret it? No. You will. Guards! Get her out. Fade to black, the scene holds on Claire's furious face as the crowd murmurs in anticipation. I said, move! Claire's voice echoes across the marble lobby, sharp and commanding. I said move! You're holding up MY lobby, and I won't say it again. Naomi doesn't flinch. She stands steady at the counter, her hands resting calmly. Her tone stays low, calm, cutting through the noise. Check your system. My name is Naomi Williams. My suite is booked. Claire snaps back instantly, voice dripping with venom. Booked? No. You don't book suites here. Our guests are real clients, not wanderers looking for a free tour. A hush falls over the lobby. A woman sitting on the velvet couch whispers to her friend. She didn't even check her name. This is getting ugly. Claire notices the murmurs but leans in closer, practically yelling now. Do I look like I'm joking? I won't let you stand here embarrassing MY Hotel. You have 2 seconds to leave, or I'll have you dragged out by those guards. The two guards approach, their hesitation obvious. Guests by the bar angle their phones to film. A businessman mutters under his breath. She's about to regret this, she has no idea who she's yelling at. Naomi's phone buzzes again. She glances at the screen, another message from Mr. Hale. Stay put. 10 minutes. Claire sees the buzz, smirks cruelly, and raises her voice so the crowd hears. Oh, what now? Gonna cry to someone to save you? This isn't a homeless shelter. This is the Sterling Crest, and people like you don't belong here. The tension thickens. Guests stare, some shaking their heads, others whispering. Naomi finally lifts her eyes and locks on Claire, her voice calm but heavy. Call your guards. Call whoever you want. But you just made the biggest mistake of your career. Claire throws her head back and laughs, loud and mocking, gesturing toward the guards. Biggest mistake? No, honey, the mistake is you thinking you're welcome here. Guards, escort her out, now. Fade to black. The guards step closer. The crowd whispers louder, phone still filming. Drag her out. The two guards hesitate, their eyes flicking between Claire's furious face and Naomi's calm posture. Claire barks, her voice slicing through the silence. What are you waiting for? Drag her out. Now. The guests gasp. Phones rise higher. Whispers ripple like a wave. Is this legal? She didn't even check her ID. Naomi doesn't move. Her voice is soft, almost too soft for the chaos around her. Touch me, and you'll wish you hadn't. Claire slams her hand on the counter again, her face red, voice exploding. Oh, is that a threat? You think you can intimidate me in MY Hotel? You're nothing but a trespasser. Guards, do your job. The guards take a cautious step forward. But the older one whispers. Ma'am, maybe we should at least confirm her name first. Claire spins on him, her fury now spilling everywhere. Are you questioning me? I said get her out. She doesn't belong here. The whole lobby goes silent. Even the couple checking and stop signing papers. Someone by the elevator murmurs. She's digging her own grave, this feels wrong. Naomi's phone buzzes again. She glances down, a simple message. Outside now. Don't leave. Mr. Hale. Naomi finally lifts her gaze, her tone still even, her words precise. You still haven't checked your system. You're about to find out why. That was your second mistake. Claire throws her hands up dramatically, her voice booming for everyone to hear. Oh, I'll find out? No. You will, when you're standing outside on the curb, where you actually belong. The guards glance nervously toward the front doors. Guests lean forward, phones capturing every second. The tension is electric. Everyone is waiting for what happens next. Fade to black. Backup? Really? Claire leans over the counter, sneering, her voice rising to a near yell so everyone in the lobby hears. Oh, I see what's happening. You're waiting for someone to come save you, aren't you? Let me guess, some friend, maybe your boyfriend? Newsflash, nobody's walking through those doors to help you. Naomi stands still, her calm expression unshaken. Her phone buzzes again. She glances at it briefly. The screen flashes, 2 minutes away. Don't move. Mr. Hale. Claire catches the faint smile that touches Naomi's lips. She laughs loudly, drawing attention from every corner of the lobby. Oh, that's rich. You actually think someone's going to come in here and fix this for you? This is MY Hotel. My lobby. And I don't care who you're texting, you're leaving. A businessman by the fireplace whispers to his wife. She's too calm. She knows something. The woman nods quietly, keeping her phone recording. Claire straightens up, turning toward the growing group of guests who are watching, whispering. Her voice booms again, dripping with superiority. Everyone here, listen up. This woman is trespassing. She's wasting MY time and yours. We don't let people like this stroll into a 5-star hotel pretending they belong. The crowd reacts, some with shocked looks, others murmuring in disapproval. One young woman near the elevators whispers. Did you just say people like this? She's not even hiding it. Naomi finally speaks, her voice quiet but slicing through the noise like a blade. Your voice is getting louder, because you're getting nervous. Claire freezes for a split second, her fake confidence cracking. Then she smirks again, waving it off, raising her voice louder than ever. Nervous? No, sweetheart. I'm in control here. And when security gets here, you'll be standing on the curb before your so-called backup even shows up. The tension builds as the sound of distant car doors closing outside echoes faintly through the lobby. Guests glance toward the entrance, sensing something is about to shift. Fade to black. The camera lingers on Claire's smug face as the distant sound of footsteps approaches. He's here. The front doors of the Sterling Crest Hotel swing open with a heavy, deliberate creak. Every head in the lobby turns. Conversations die completely. Through the glass entrance, a sleek black SUV idles at the curb. Two men in sharp black suits step inside, their presence radiating quiet authority. They don't glance at anyone else, they walk straight toward Naomi. Claire's smug expression flickers for the first time. She steps back slightly, her voice faltering for just a moment before snapping back, louder than ever. "Excuse me. This lobby is private. You can't just walk in here unannounced." One of the men ignores her completely, stopping beside Naomi. His voice is calm, deep, and commanding. "Miss Williams, apologies for the delay. Mr. Hale is parking. Are you ready for inspection?" The lobby erupts in whispers and gasps. A guest near the velvet couches murmurs. "Inspection? Miss Williams? Who is she?" Claire blinks, confused, her voice cracking as she tries to recover her authority. "Inspection? What are you talking about? She's just some random woman loitering." The second-suited man turns to Claire, his tone flat but sharp. "Loitering? She's the reason we're here. She's the guest we're waiting on." Claire's confidence falters. Her face tightens, but she forces out a strained laugh, glancing nervously at the growing crowd recording the scene. "Oh, of course. Just standard procedure, you know, making sure no one's wasting our time." Naomi doesn't move or speak. Her eyes stay fixed on Claire, her expression calm but heavy, like she's waiting for Claire to dig her own grave a little deeper. The faint click of polished shoes on marble echoes as another figure steps in through the doors. The whispers grow louder. Mr. Hale enters, tall, commanding, dressed in a tailored coat, and he's clearly not someone to ignore. Claire's breath catches, her voice trembling slightly despite her forced smile. Can I help you, sir?" Mr. Hale doesn't even look at her. His eyes go straight to Naomi as he says calmly, "Miss Williams, sorry for the wait. Shall we begin?" The lobby is silent except for the sound of phones recording. Claire's fake smile freezes, her face paling as the weight of the moment hits her. Fade to black. The screen lingers on Claire's stunned face, whispers echoing. "Miss Williams, who is she? Now. Check the system." The Sterling Crest lobby is silent, except for the faint buzz of phones still recording. Mr. Hale, tall and composed, stands beside Naomi like a shadow of authority. His calm presence feels heavier than Claire's loud voice ever did. Claire's fake smile twitches as she scrambles to recover her tone. Her voice is strained, trying to sound professional but trembling around the edges. Welcome, sir. And Miss Williams, was it? I was just verifying her status before letting her into our VIP suites, of course." Mr. Hale turns his cold gaze on Claire, his words deliberate, each syllable hitting like a gavel. "Verifying? By shouting at her in front of your entire lobby? By threatening to throw out the very person you're supposed to welcome?" Claire swallows hard. No, you misunderstand. I was simply protecting the integrity of our hotel. We can't just let anyone wander around without clearance." Naomi finally speaks for the first time since Hale's arrival, her voice low but razor-sharp. "Then maybe you should check your system before humiliating paying guests." The crowd murmurs louder. A guest near the elevators whispers. "She didn't even look up her name. This is bad." Mr. Hale steps closer to Claire, his voice dropping, calm but commanding. "Check the system now. Find Miss Williams' booking. Then, you can explain to me why you thought she didn't belong here." Claire's face tightens. Her hand trembles slightly as she reaches for the computer. The guests' phones catch every second, the clicking of keys, the heavy silence, the tension building like a held breath. Suddenly, Claire's eyes widen. Her voice is barely audible, a whisper cracking under pressure. "Penthouse. Presidential suite, booked for 2 weeks. Mr. Hale." "Say it louder. Everyone's watching." Claire, voice shaky but loud enough for the whole lobby. Miss Naomi Williams. Presidential suite, confirmed. The crowd erupts in gasps and whispers. Naomi's calm gaze never leaves Claire's panicked face. Fade to black. The last sound is the crowd's low chatter. Presidential suite? Who is she really? Excuses won't save you. The lobby is dead silent except for the faint buzz of guests whispering and recording. Claire's face flushes red as she fumbles for words, her once loud tone now strained and defensive. I was only trying to protect the hotel's reputation, she stammers, glancing nervously at the crowd. We can't just let anyone in without verifying who they are. It's protocol. Mr. Hale tilts his head slightly, his voice calm but laced with steel. Protocol? Does your protocol also include raising your voice, humiliating guests, and calling security before even checking a name? The murmurs from the crowd grow louder. Someone whispers near the bar. She's done. There's no coming back from this. Naomi doesn't speak, she simply stands there, her calm presence making Claire's nervous babbling sound even more desperate. She tilts her head ever so slightly, eyes narrowing, as if silently inviting Claire to keep digging her own hole. Claire tries to plaster on a professional smile, though her voice cracks. Of course, I meant no disrespect. I just assumed. Mr. Hale's gaze sharpens, cutting her off without raising his voice. Assumed what, exactly? That Miss Williams doesn't look like someone who belongs here? The words hang heavy in the air. The lobby is still, the crowd watching intently, phones aimed like spotlights. Claire swallows hard, her voice barely a whisper now. No, that's not what I... Naomi finally breaks her silence, her voice steady, low, and deliberate. That's exactly what you meant. And now, everyone here knows it. Claire's hands tremble at her sides as the guests' whispers turn into audible, disapproving murmurs. The tension in the lobby tightens like a noose, every eye locked on Claire as she stands frozen under the weight of her mistake. Fade to black. The faint sound of a guest muttering is heard. She picked the wrong person to mess with. This isn't over. The lobby feels tense enough to snap. Guests' phones are still raised, recording every second. Claire stands rigid behind the counter, her forced smile trembling, eyes darting between Naomi and Mr. Hale. Naomi, calm as ever, steps closer to the counter. Her voice stays low but carries across the silent lobby. You screamed at me. You threatened to have me thrown out. And all without checking a single detail, simply because you assumed I didn't belong. Claire tries to interject, her voice shaky. Miss Williams, I was just following procedures. Mr. Hale cuts her off sharply, without raising his tone. Stop talking. Every word you say now just makes it worse. Claire's jaw clamps shut. The crowd murmurs again, one voice whispering audibly. She's toast, you can see it in his face. Naomi leans forward slightly, her calm gaze locking on Claire. Call your manager. Now. And make sure he knows, this conversation isn't private anymore. Claire hesitates, glancing nervously at the dozens of phones aimed at her. Her voice comes out almost as a whisper. Why, yes, Miss Williams. She picks up the phone with trembling hands, dials, and mutters into the receiver. The sound of her cracking voice echoes in the silent lobby. Mr. Larson, you need to come down. Immediately. It's urgent. Naomi steps back, her hands folded calmly in front of her, eyes never leaving Claire. Mr. Hale turns slightly toward Claire, his words cold. And while we wait, you should know, this isn't just about tonight. Your behavior will be addressed, permanently. Claire's lips part slightly, panic flickering across her face, but she doesn't speak. The lobby is silent except for the faint click of heels approaching from the corridor. The manager is on his way. Fade to black. A whisper from a guest cuts through the quiet. Who is Naomi Williams? Why does everyone seem scared of her? The manager arrives. The polished corridor doors swing open, and Mr. Larson, The hotel manager strides in. Late 50s, polished suit, the kind of man who usually exudes confidence. But when he sees Mr. Hale and Naomi standing at the counter and the crowd of guests watching with phones raised, his confident step falters. The lobby murmurs rise. That's the manager, this must be serious. Claire tries to straighten her posture, plastering on a nervous smile. Mr. Larson. I was just handling a situation. Her voice wavers, too high, too fake. Mr. Larson's gaze cuts through her. Handling it? Or creating it? Because I can hear the guests whispering from the hallway. He nods toward Naomi and Hale, his voice dropping lower. What exactly did you do? Claire stammers, her hands gripping the counter. I was protecting the lobby. She didn't seem like she belonged here. I didn't check because... Mr. Hale interrupts, his tone calm but sharp. Because you assumed. Without facts. Without respect. The lobby grows quieter. Guests lean in, phone steady, capturing every word. Mr. Larson's face pales. He glances at Naomi, his tone shifting instantly to respect. Miss Williams. I deeply apologize for any mistreatment. Please, allow me to... Naomi raises a hand slightly, stopping him mid-sentence. Her voice is calm, deliberate. Don't apologize yet. This isn't just about a check-in gone wrong. This is about how your staff treats people they think don't belong. The tension deepens. Even the guards standing nearby shift uncomfortably. Claire's breathing quickens, her composure cracks. She blurts out. Miss Williams, I swear I didn't mean any harm. I just thought. Naomi's gaze locks on her, cold and still. Exactly. You thought. And now, everyone here will see the consequences of that. Fade to black. A whisper breaks the silence as the camera lingers on Claire's terrified face. She's done. This isn't ending well for her. You still don't understand. The lobby remains still, only the soft hum of the chandelier lights and faint murmurs from guests fill the air. Claire's face is pale, her hands gripping the counter like it's the only thing keeping her upright. Phones remain raised, capturing everything. Naomi takes a slow step forward, her heels clicking softly on the marble. Her tone is calm, measured, but each word feels heavy. Claire, you shouted at me, called security, and nearly had me thrown out. And all without knowing who I am, or why I'm here. Claire's lips part, her voice trembling. Miss Williams. I didn't know. If I had realized. Naomi cuts her off, her voice dropping lower, almost a whisper, yet it carries across the lobby. But you didn't care to know. You saw me, and decided I didn't belong. You made assumptions. And now, those assumptions are about to cost you more than you realize. A woman near the couches whispers audibly. She's not just a guest. Look how calm she is, she must own something. Mr. Hale finally steps closer, his deep voice rumbling. Miss Williams isn't here for a vacation, Claire. She's here for something far more permanent. Claire's eyes widen, confusion mixing with panic. Permanent? What does that mean? Naomi doesn't answer directly. Instead, she glances around the lobby, her gaze sweeping over the recording guests, the silent staff, the uneasy guards. Her voice remains cool, deliberate. You'll know soon enough. And so will everyone watching. Claire stumbles over her words, her confidence gone. Miss Williams, I was just doing my job. Naomi turns her eyes back to Claire, cutting her off with a tone so calm it feels icy. No. You were doing what you always do, deciding who's worthy and who isn't. Tonight, those choices have consequences. The lobby is silent, the tension almost unbearable. Even Mr. Larson, the manager, stays quiet, sensing Naomi is building to something far bigger than a simple check-in. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest lingers. Permanent? What is she about to do? The inspection begins. The lobby air feels heavy, every guest watching as if the next move will decide the night. Naomi doesn't raise her voice, doesn't move suddenly, she just nods once toward the two suited men who arrived with Mr. Hale. Without a word, they begin walking the lobby, their eyes scanning everything. They pull out sleek tablets, tapping notes, snapping photos of the front desk, the lounge area, even the staff's posture. Their presence feels official. Not like security. Not like regular staff. Like auditors. Claire watches them, her stomach tightening. What are they doing? She mutters under her breath, panic creeping in. One guest near the entrance whispers to another. Are they inspecting the hotel? This feels bigger than a complaint. Naomi remains calm, her gaze steady on Claire. Her voice, soft but deliberate, slices through the murmurs. You asked if someone was coming to save me. They're not here to save me, Claire. They're here to observe you. Claire stammers, her voice rising with desperation. Observe me? For what? I was just doing my job. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone controlled, but every word lands like a weight. If this is how you do your job, it explains why we're here tonight. Claire's lips tremble. Her eyes dart between Naomi, Hale, and the suited men photographing her desk. The crowd of guests leans in closer, phone still raised, sensing a storm about to break. Naomi's tone stays cool, calm, measured. Relax, Claire. No one's throwing you out, yet. But what happens next? That depends entirely on how honest you are when the truth comes out. The silence stretches, thick and suffocating. Claire's breath quickens. For the first time, her once sharp voice barely rises above a whisper. What truth? Fade to black. The faint sound of a guest whispering cuts through. She's not a guest, she's something bigger. She's not just a guest. The two suited men finish circling the lobby, their tablets full of photos and notes. One of them walks back to Naomi, leaning in slightly so only she and Mr. Hale can hear. Everything's documented. The staff interactions, the guest reactions, the condition of the front desk, all noted. Naomi nods calmly, her expression unchanged. Then, she turns slightly, her voice just loud enough to carry across the tense lobby. Make sure corporate receives that report within the hour. And flag the front desk conduct, that will need to be addressed immediately. The words hang in the air like a thunderclap. Guests whisper louder now, their phones still raised. Corporate? She's talking like she owns the place. Why is she sending reports? Who is she? Claire's face drains of color. Wait, corporate? Why would you? You're just a guest, aren't you? Naomi turns her eyes on Claire, calm but sharp. A guest? No, Claire. I don't think that word applies to me anymore. Claire swallows hard, her voice cracking. What do you mean? Any more? Mr. Hale steps forward, his presence making the tension spike higher. His deep voice is deliberate. She means, you're not speaking to someone renting a room. You're speaking to someone with far more authority over this property than you'll ever have. The crowd murmurs, gasps mixing with whispers. Does she own this place? Is she the buyer? What's happening? Claire's knees weaken slightly, her hand grips the counter edge. No, that can't be true. She can't. Naomi cuts her off, her voice soft but ice cold. You'll find out soon enough. And so will everyone watching. The lobby is silent except for the quiet hum of the chandelier lights. The tension is at its peak, every eye locked on Naomi, every phone aimed, waiting for the storm to break. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest echoes. She's about to drop something big. I can feel it. Now you're nervous. The lobby feels like it's holding its breath. Every guest is glued to the scene, phone still recording, the murmurs a low hum beneath the tension. Claire's forced confidence finally cracks. Her voice, once loud and commanding, now comes out shaky. Miss Williams, please, whatever misunderstanding happened, I can fix it. I was only trying to maintain order. Naomi's gaze stays locked on her, calm and unreadable. She doesn't respond right away. She lets the silence stretch, the weight of the moment pulling Claire down further. Mr. Hale finally speaks, his deep voice filling the quiet. Order? You call screaming at a guest, calling security, and humiliating her in front of an entire lobby. Order? Claire's throat bobs as she swallows hard. I didn't mean any harm. I just thought. Naomi cuts in, her voice low, almost whispering, but with a precision that cuts through the room. Exactly. You thought. You decided who was worthy, and who wasn't, before even glancing at your system. The crowd murmurs louder, snippets of whispers cutting through. She's done. There's no way she survives this. Miss Williams is too calm. She's in charge somehow. Claire's hands tremble slightly as she grips the counter. Miss Williams, I'm begging you, give me one chance to make this right. I'll personally escort you to your suite. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm expression finally shifting into a faint, cold smile. My suite? Claire, this isn't about a suite anymore. This is about your choices. And those choices have a cost. The lobby goes silent again. Guests lean forward in anticipation, sensing Naomi is about to tighten the noose. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest lingers over the silence. What does she mean? Not about a suite anymore? One chance? Or none? The silence in the lobby feels almost suffocating, broken only by the faint hum of the overhead lights. Claire's voice, once commanding, now sounds like a whisper struggling to rise. Miss Williams, please. I'll do anything to make this right. One chance. Just one chance. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm gaze never leaving Claire's panicked face. Her voice is soft, deliberate, but carrying the weight of someone who doesn't make idle promises. One chance? You had that chance when you first saw me. Instead, you chose to shout, to humiliate, and to threaten, all because of what you thought I was. Claire's lips part, but no words come. She glances toward the guests, all of them still filming, their murmurs spreading like a quiet storm through the room. Mr. Hale steps closer, his deep voice filling the space. Miss Williams doesn't hand out second chances. Not for this. Especially when there's a lobby full of witnesses and an entire corporate board expecting a report tonight. Claire's face pales even more. Corporate board? Wait, please. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know. Naomi finally leans forward just enough for her voice to cut through like a blade. That's the problem, Claire. You didn't care to know. And now? Everyone will know who you really are and what happens when people like you cross the line. The crowd shifts, whispers turning into hushed comments. She's done for. Whatever Naomi's planning, it's big. Claire's breathing is shallow now, her fingers gripping the counter until her knuckles whiten. Her voice trembles, barely audible. Please, what's going to happen to me? Naomi doesn't answer directly. Instead, her calm expression hardens ever so slightly as she says, what happens next depends on whether you can face the truth about what you've done. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest cuts through. She's not even angry, that's what makes it scarier. Everyone's watching now. The lobby is silent except for the faint buzz of whispers and phone cameras clicking. Claire's posture is crumbling, her once stiff shoulders are now slumped, her hands trembling against the marble counter. Naomi turns slightly, letting her calm voice carry to the entire lobby. Since Claire was so quick to make this a public scene, let's make sure everyone here gets the full truth about how this hotel treats its guests. The guests murmur louder, phones angling higher. One whispers audibly. She's broadcasting this whole thing, for a reason. Mr. Hale steps closer to Claire, his tone cold but even. Miss Williams isn't just another guest, Claire. Every second of tonight is being documented, for the board, for corporate, and now, for the entire public watching online. Claire's face drains completely. Online? Wait, people are posting this? She turns her head. Several guests are live streaming, their comments audible in hushed tones. Naomi's expression doesn't change. Her voice is steady and calm, but it slices through Claire's panic. This is what happens when you humiliate someone without reason. The story doesn't stay inside four walls anymore. Everyone sees. Claire's breathing quickens. Please. Miss Williams, can we handle this privately? Please, I beg you. Naomi tilts her head, her eyes narrowing slightly. Privately? No, Claire. You made it public the moment you raised your voice, the moment you called security. Now, everyone will watch as this is handled the right way. Guests exchange glances, the whispers intensify. She's about to bring the hammer down. Claire's finished. You can feel it. Claire grips the counter harder, her voice breaking. Miss Williams, what do you want me to do? Please, just tell me what to do to fix this. Naomi doesn't look at her. Instead, she glances to Mr. Hale, her tone still calm. We're not here for fixes. We're here to decide what happens next. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest echoes. She's not here to stay. She's here to take over. Now you're nervous. The lobby feels like it's holding its breath. Every guest is glued to the scene, phone still recording, the murmurs a low hum beneath the tension. Claire's forced confidence finally cracks. Her voice, once loud and commanding, now comes out shaky. Miss Williams, please, whatever misunderstanding happened, I can fix it. I was only trying to maintain order. Naomi's gaze stays locked on her, calm and unreadable. She doesn't respond right away. She lets the silence stretch, the weight of the moment pulling Claire down further. Mr. Hale finally speaks, his deep voice filling the quiet. Order? You call screaming at a guest, calling security, and humiliating her in front of an entire lobby. Order? Claire's throat bobs as she swallows hard. I didn't mean any harm. I just thought. Naomi cuts in, her voice low, almost whispering, but with a precision that cuts through the room. Exactly. You thought. You decided who was worthy, and who wasn't, before even glancing at your system. The crowd murmurs louder, snippets of whispers cutting through. She's done. There's no way she survives this. Miss Williams is too calm. She's in charge somehow. Claire's hands tremble slightly as she grips the counter. Miss Williams, I'm begging you, give me one chance to make this right. I'll personally escort you to your suite. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm expression finally shifting into a faint, cold smile. My suite? Claire, this isn't about a suite anymore. This is about your choices. And those choices have a cost. The lobby goes silent again. Guests lean forward in anticipation, sensing Naomi is about to tighten the noose. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest lingers over the silence. What does she mean? Not about a suite anymore? One chance? Or none? The silence in the lobby feels almost suffocating, broken only by the faint hum of the overhead lights. Claire's voice, once commanding, now sounds like a whisper struggling to rise. Miss Williams, please. I'll do anything to make this right. One chance. Just one chance. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm gaze never leaving Claire's panicked face. Her voice is soft, deliberate, but carrying the weight of someone who doesn't make idle promises. One chance? You had that chance when you first saw me. Instead, you chose to shout, to humiliate, and to threaten, all because of what you thought I was. Claire's lips part, but no words come. She glances toward the guests, all of them still filming, their murmurs spreading like a quiet storm through the room. Mr. Hale steps closer, his deep voice filling the space. Miss Williams doesn't hand out second chances. Not for this. especially when there's a lobby full of witnesses and an entire corporate board expecting a report tonight. Claire's face pales even more. Corporate board? Wait, please. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know. Naomi finally leans forward just enough for her voice to cut through like a blade. That's the problem, Claire. You didn't care to know. And now? Everyone will know who you really are and what happens when people like you cross the line. The crowd shifts, whispers turning into hushed comments. She's done for. Whatever Naomi's planning, it's big. Claire's breathing is shallow now, her fingers gripping the counter until her knuckles whiten. Her voice trembles, barely audible. Please, what's going to happen to me? Naomi doesn't answer directly. Instead, her calm expression hardens ever so slightly as she says, what happens next depends on whether you can face the truth about what you've done. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest cuts through. She's not even angry, that's what makes it scarier. Everyone's watching now. The lobby is silent except for the faint buzz of whispers and phone cameras clicking. Claire's posture is crumbling, her once stiff shoulders are now slumped, her hands trembling against the marble counter. Naomi turns slightly, letting her calm voice carry to the entire lobby. Since Claire was so quick to make this a public scene, let's make sure everyone here gets the full truth about how this hotel treats its guests. The guests murmur louder, phones angling higher. One whispers audibly. She's broadcasting this whole thing, for a reason. Mr. Hale steps closer to Claire, his tone cold but even. Miss Williams isn't just another guest, Claire. Every second of tonight is being documented, for the board, for corporate, and now, for the entire public watching online. Claire's face drains completely. Online? Wait, people are posting this? She turns her head, several guests are live streaming, their comments audible in hushed tones. Naomi's expression doesn't change. Her voice is steady and calm, but it slices through Claire's panic. This is what happens when you humiliate someone without reason. The story doesn't stay inside four walls anymore. Everyone sees. Claire's breathing quickens. Please! Miss Williams, can we handle this privately? Please, I beg you. Naomi tilts her head, her eyes narrowing slightly. Privately? No, Claire. You made it public the moment you raised your voice, the moment you called security. Now, everyone will watch as this is handled the right way. Guests exchange glances, the whispers intensify. She's about to bring the hammer down. Claire's finished. You can feel it. Claire grips the counter harder, her voice breaking. Miss Williams, what do you want me to do? Please, just tell me what to do to fix this. Naomi doesn't look at her. Instead, she glances to Mr. Hale, her tone still calm. We're not here for fixes. We're here to decide what happens next. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest echoes. She's not here to stay. She's here to take over. The truth drops. The lobby is silent except for the quiet hum of phones recording. Claire's hands clutch the marble counter so tightly her knuckles are white. Her breathing is shallow, uneven. Naomi takes one calm step forward, her gaze locked on Claire. Her voice is soft, but each word echoes through the lobby. Claire! I am not here as a guest. I am here because as of midnight tonight, I own this hotel. Gasps ripple through the lobby like a wave. Guests lean forward, phones zoom in. One voice whispers audibly. She owns it? Oh, Claire's finished. Claire's knees nearly buckle. Her voice cracks, almost a squeak. Oh, own it? No, that's not possible. I would have been told. I. Mr. Hale steps in, his deep tone firm but calm. It's not your job to be told, Claire. It's your job to treat every person who walks through these doors with respect. And tonight, you failed in front of everyone. The suited men step forward, one holding the sleek black folder. He opens it, revealing the final acquisition documents, signed and sealed. Naomi doesn't even glance at them. She just looks at Claire, her voice still steady. The paperwork is complete. The sale is done. This is my property now, and that means your behavior tonight falls directly under my authority. The guests erupt in whispers, some openly shaking their heads, others muttering. She screamed at the owner. Fired for sure. I hope someone's streaming this. This is unreal. Claire's lip trembles, her voice drops to a plea. Miss Williams. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. Please, don't take my job. Please. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calmness more unsettling than anger. You didn't care to know. That's the problem. And now, every guest here is watching to see what happens when someone like you crosses the line. The lobby holds its breath. Claire's eyes dart to the cameras around her, her face pale, hands trembling. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest lingers. This is just the beginning for Claire. She hasn't even faced the fallout yet. Step 1, accountability. The lobby is silent but buzzing with tension, the guests whispering softly, phone still raised. Claire's hands tremble as she grips the counter, her face pale, eyes darting between Naomi, Hale, and the crowd recording every second. Naomi's voice remains calm, her posture composed as she addresses the entire lobby. Everyone here heard Claire shout. Everyone saw her threaten to have me removed. Everyone watched her humiliate a paying customer without checking a single fact. She turns her gaze back to Claire, her tone never rising, but each word landing like a strike. This isn't just about me. This is about how you treat anyone you decide doesn't belong. And starting now, that changes. The suited men step forward, one holding up a small recording device. Mr. Hale nods slightly, his deep voice resonating through the still room. Every word tonight has been documented, video, audio, witness statements. This isn't staying in this lobby. The board will review it, and so will HR, corporate, and the press if Miss Williams chooses. Claire's lips tremble, she blurts out, her voice cracking. No, please! Don't send that! I'll lose my job, my career, everything. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm gaze unwavering. Claire, the only thing you were worried about tonight was protecting this hotel's image. Now, that same image will show exactly how it treats the people it should respect. The murmurs in the lobby rise. A guest whispers audibly. She's not even raising her voice. But Claire's getting destroyed piece by piece. Claire's knees wobble as she leans on the counter for balance. Miss Williams, please. I'll apologize. I'll apologize publicly, right now. Just don't send this to the board, I'm begging you. Naomi's calm tone turns slightly firmer, though still controlled. Apologies don't erase choices. Step 1, Claire, is accountability. And that starts tonight, in front of everyone here. Claire's breath catches, panic flaring in her eyes as she realizes Naomi isn't finished, this is only the beginning. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest carries through. This isn't the punishment, it's just the setup. Say it out loud. The lobby feels like a theater, every guest a silent audience. Phones remain raised, some live streaming, others quietly filming as the tension sharpens. Naomi stands perfectly still, her voice calm but carrying across the room. Step 1, Claire, is simple. You humiliated me publicly, now, you will correct that publicly. Claire's eyes widen, her lips trembling. You want me to apologize? In front of everyone? Mr. Hale steps closer, his deep voice steady but firm. She's giving you a chance to face the consequences on your feet, Claire. The alternative will be far worse. Claire's breath catches. She glances around the lobby, seeing every guest, strangers with their phones, watching, waiting. Her voice comes out as a whisper. Please, can't we do this in private? Please, Miss Williams. I'll say anything you want, just not in front of. Naomi cuts her off with a tone so calm it feels colder than a shout. No. You raised your voice at me in this lobby. You told everyone I didn't belong here. Now, everyone will hear you admit you were wrong. The murmurs rise, whispers buzzing across the room. She's making her do it here, in front of everyone. Claire's finished. This is brutal. Claire's hands tremble as she slowly turns to face the lobby. Her voice shakes as she forces out the words. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to apologize. I was wrong to treat Miss Williams the way I did tonight. I made assumptions, and I shouldn't have. Naomi's voice slices through, calm but commanding. Louder, Claire. Everyone deserves to hear it clearly, especially the people you embarrassed me in front of. Claire swallows hard, her voice rising, though it quivers with shame. I was wrong. I judged someone without reason, and I treated her with disrespect. I humiliated a guest who now owns this hotel. Gasps ripple through the crowd as the words echo. The phones all catch it. Guests murmur louder. Owns the hotel, it's official now. Naomi remains still, her calm expression unchanged, as Claire lowers her gaze in humiliation. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest cuts through. That was only step one. She's not done with her yet. This is just the start. The lobby is silent except for the soft buzz of phones recording. Claire stands with her head slightly bowed, her voice still trembling from the public apology. Her face is pale, and her hands grip the counter like she might collapse if she lets go. Naomi remains perfectly composed, her voice calm but cutting. That's one part of your accountability, Claire. But it's not the end. Tonight is not about humiliation alone, it's about consequences. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone even and deliberate. Miss Williams is now the owner of this property. That means every incident, including this one, is under her authority. The board will review this. HR will review this. And you, Claire, will have to answer to all of it. Claire's breath stutters. Please. Miss Williams, I know I made a mistake. But can't we settle this without going to corporate? Without HR? I'll do anything. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her expression still calm, her voice unwavering. You wanted everyone in this lobby to see me removed. Now everyone here will see what happens when you abuse your position. The crowd murmurs softly, a mix of whispers and gasps. She's not stopping at an apology. Claire's about to lose everything. The suited men step closer, one handing Naomi a tablet displaying Claire's employee profile and tonight's incident log. Naomi glances at it briefly, then locks her gaze back on Claire. Effective immediately, you're suspended pending review by HR and the board. Security will escort you to collect your things. Whether you return after tonight will not be your decision. Claire's knees weaken. Her voice comes out as a desperate whisper. Suspended? No, please, Miss Williams. My job, my livelihood, please don't take it away. Naomi's calm expression doesn't waver. Claire, I didn't take anything. You gave it away the moment you decided some people don't deserve respect. The lobby remains heavy with silence, the phones capturing every second. Claire's breathing turns shaky, tears starting to build in her eyes. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest lingers. She hasn't even reached the real punishment yet. This is just the build-up. Everyone needs to see. The lobby feels like a courtroom, silent but buzzing with tension. Guests lean forward in their seats, phones raised, as two uniformed security guards step closer to Claire. Claire's hands tremble as she looks between them, Naomi, and the crowd filming her every move. Her voice cracks, rising with desperation. Miss Williams, please. Don't do this in front of everyone. I'll leave quietly. I'll do anything, just not like this. Naomi's tone stays calm, her posture perfectly still. No, Claire. You wanted to make a scene when you thought you had power. Now, everyone will see what happens when that power is abused. The guards gently take Claire by the arm. Her knees almost buckle, but they hold her steady as she stumbles slightly. Gasps ripple through the crowd, phones zoom in closer. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep voice carrying across the lobby. This isn't just for tonight. Every staff member, every guest, needs to see that disrespect has no place here anymore. This hotel is changing, starting now. The remaining front desk employees exchange uneasy glances, whispering among themselves. One of them mutters quietly, but audibly enough for a nearby guest to catch. She's making an example out of her. Claire's not coming back from this. Claire's tears start to fall as she pleads, her voice barely holding together. Miss Williams. I'll apologize again. I'll sign whatever you need. I'll take pay cuts. Just, please, not like this. Naomi's calm gaze doesn't shift. You weren't worried about humiliation when you shouted, Claire. Now, you'll learn what accountability feels like, in front of everyone you disrespected. The guards start guiding Claire toward the staff exit at the far end of the lobby. The entire room watches, the air thick with whispers and tension. Fade to black. A faint murmur from a guest cuts through. She's not even done yet, you can tell there's something bigger coming. This isn't just about Claire. The lobby is dead silent, except for the soft shuffle of Claire's shoes as the guards guide her toward the staff exit. Every guest watches. Every phone records. Claire's tears streak down her face, but she doesn't resist. She knows there's no way out. Naomi doesn't move. Her voice stays low and calm, but it carries through the entire lobby like a command. Everyone watching, understand this isn't only about one person. It's about a culture in this hotel, one that ends tonight. The murmurs in the room grow louder. A guest whispers audibly. She's about to change everything. You can feel it. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone steady and precise. Miss Williams didn't acquire this hotel to let it run the way it always has. She bought it to ensure every guest, regardless of how they look, what they wear, or who they are, is treated with dignity. The remaining front desk staff stand stiffly behind the counter, their faces pale, exchanging nervous glances. Naomi's calm gaze sweeps over them. If any of you believe the way Claire behaved is acceptable, you won't be working here by tomorrow. A sharp gasp cuts through the room, one of the younger clerks lowers her eyes immediately. A businessman sitting near the fireplace whispers to his wife. She's not just firing Claire. She's cleaning house. The guards guide Claire through the staff exit, her sobs faint but audible. The heavy door closes behind her, leaving the lobby in tense silence. Naomi turns back to the crowd, her tone cool but resolute. From this moment on, this hotel will not tolerate arrogance, bias, or abuse from anyone. If you wear this uniform, you will treat every guest like they matter. If you can't, you will leave, just like Claire. The guests exchange whispers, some nodding in agreement, others just staring at Naomi with awe. The atmosphere is heavy, but there's a growing sense of order replacing chaos. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest echoes. She's setting up something big. This isn't even the final blow. Every guest needs to hear this. The lobby remains silent but alive with tension, every guest watching Naomi as if the air itself is waiting for her next words. Phones are still recording, some are live streaming, with a faint glow of comments scrolling on their screens. Naomi takes a slow step forward, away from the counter, her calm posture commanding the room without raising her voice. To every guest here, I owe you an explanation. Not just for what happened to me, but for what you witnessed in this lobby tonight. The murmurs ripple through the room. A man near the bar whispers to his companion. She's not just handling Claire. She's making a statement for everyone. Naomi's eyes sweep across the room, her tone even but firm. Some of you came here for comfort. For luxury. For respect. And instead, you watched an employee, someone meant to uphold those values, humiliate a guest without cause. That ends now. Mr. Hale steps forward beside her, his deep tone grounding her words. Miss Williams didn't purchase this hotel to let it continue its old ways. What you saw tonight is the reason this change is happening. The crowd shifts, whispers grow. One guest murmurs audibly. She's not just an owner. She's here to rebuild the entire place. Naomi glances back at the remaining front desk staff, her voice cool but sharp. Everyone who works here will understand this by tomorrow. This hotel will not be a place where arrogance and bias decide how people are treated. Every guest, every single one, deserves to feel they belong here. The guests start nodding, some even murmuring agreement. A soft ripple of approval moves through the room, though the tension remains thick. Naomi then adds, her tone dropping slightly, quieter, but laced with weight. And as for Claire, her night isn't finished yet. She still has one more lesson to learn before this is over. The whispers spike, phones tilt closer, eager to capture whatever comes next. The tension is now tight as a wire, everyone sensing something big approaching. Fade to black. A faint murmur from a guest echoes. Scene 28, that's when it's all going to explode, isn't it? Prepare for the final lesson. The lobby feels like a calm before the storm. Guests lean forward in their seats, phones steady, as Naomi takes a step toward the center of the room. Her posture remains composed, her voice calm, but there's a quiet edge that promises something bigger is coming. Everyone here has seen what Claire did tonight. You've seen her words, her arrogance, her threats. And now, you're going to see what happens when someone refuses to understand the value of respect. The murmurs grow louder, a guest near the couches whispers. She's bringing Claire back. You can tell. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone deliberate. Claire is being brought back here. Not to continue her work, that part is over. But because Miss Williams believes lessons like this should be completed in full view. The remaining staff behind the counter stiffen. One whispers nervously to another. She's not just firing her. She's about to make an example no one will forget. Naomi's calm gaze sweeps the lobby once more, her tone carrying a deliberate weight. When she walks back through that door, you'll understand why this isn't just about one employee. It's about ending a culture of entitlement, once and for all. The lobby goes still again. Even the faint background music from the hotel's sound system fades as if swallowed by the tension. All eyes turn toward the staff exit, waiting. A suited man steps up beside Naomi, murmuring quietly but audibly enough for the nearby guests to catch. She's on her way back now, Miss Williams. And the paperwork is ready, if you want to finish it here. Naomi nods slowly, her eyes fixed on the exit. Her voice is soft, but the calm finality in her words sends a chill through the room. Good. Let's finish this, in front of everyone. The crowd shifts, whispers rippling like a current. This is it, the real destruction is coming next. Fade to black. The faint sound of approaching footsteps echoes from behind the staff door. The final blow. The heavy staff door opens with a low creak. Every guest in the lobby turns, phones already raised, whispers buzzing like electricity in the air. Claire steps out, escorted by the two uniformed guards. Her face is pale, streaked with tears. Her posture is crumbling, she looks smaller, defeated, but the crowd's eyes only make her shame sharper. Naomi stands still in the center of the lobby, her calm presence drawing every gaze. Her voice is steady, unshaken, the kind of quiet that commands absolute attention. Claire, you wanted this to be public when you thought you had control. Now, it ends the same way, public, so everyone understands what happens when power is abused. Claire's knees almost buckle as she stammers. Miss Williams, please. I've apologized. I've begged. I'll take a pay cut, I'll work double shifts, anything, just don't end my career like this. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone resonating. Your actions tonight aren't something a pay cut can fix. You humiliated the new owner of this hotel in front of her guests, and every single one of them is still watching. Gasps ripple through the crowd again. A guest near the bar murmurs loudly enough for others to hear. She's done. This is the firing, in front of everyone. Naomi finally steps closer, her heels clicking softly on the marble. her calm tone drops slightly lower, each word carrying a cold finality. Claire, as of this moment, your employment here is terminated. Your behavior has been documented, recorded, and will be reviewed by the board to ensure no other property suffers what this one has. You are not just suspended, you are finished with this company. Claire's lip quivers, her voice breaking into a sob. Please! Miss Williams. I need this job. I made a mistake, don't destroy me like this. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her calm gaze unyielding. I didn't destroy you, Claire. You destroyed yourself the moment you decided I didn't belong, before ever checking who I was. The suited men hand Naomi the sleek folder. She signs the termination papers with a single stroke, her hand steady. Then, she hands them to Mr. Hale, who turns to the guards. Escort her out. She is not to return. The guards gently take Claire by the arms again. Her sobs echo softly through the silent lobby as they guide her toward the exit. Every phone captures her final, broken plea. Please, someone tell her I didn't mean it, please. Naomi watches, her calm expression unwavering as the lobby door closes behind Claire for the last time. She turns to the guests, her voice even and firm. Now, this hotel begins again. The crowd murmurs, some whispering approval, others still stunned at what they witnessed. Fade to black. The faint whisper of a guest echoes over the silence. She just erased her, in front of everyone. The new standard. The lobby is still tense, but Claire's absence leaves a quiet that feels almost cleansing. The guards have disappeared behind the heavy doors, and all that remains is Naomi, Mr. Hale, the suited men, the stiff front desk staff, and the guests, all still holding up phones. Naomi stands centered in the lobby, her voice calm but carrying a weight that fills the entire room. What happened tonight wasn't just about one employee losing her job. It was about ending a culture that allowed her behavior to feel normal, or acceptable. The murmurs shift, some guests nod quietly, others lean closer, listening as though she's addressing each of them personally. A woman sitting on the velvet sofa whispers. She's not just talking about Claire. She's talking about all of them. Naomi glances at the front desk staff, her gaze sharp but steady. This hotel will not run on arrogance, intimidation, or bias anymore. From this moment on, every employee here will treat every guest, no matter how they look, dress, or speak, with the dignity they deserve. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep tone reinforcing her words. Every member of staff will undergo immediate retraining. Those unwilling to adjust to the new standards will no longer work here. This is not a threat, it's a promise. The front desk clerks exchange nervous glances, but none speak. The guests, meanwhile, whisper louder. A businessman near the fireplace mutters audibly. She's turning this whole place upside down, and it might actually work. Naomi's calm tone softens slightly as she turns back to the crowd. To every guest here tonight, I apologize for what you had to witness. But I assure you, the sterling crest you saw tonight is not the hotel it will be tomorrow. The murmurs turn into soft nods and even a few murmured words of approval from the guests. Fade to black. A faint whisper cuts through. She's rebuilding this place right in front of us. Face to face. The lobby has calmed slightly, but the tension is still heavy, the kind that keeps every guest glued to their seats and every phone pointed toward the front desk. Naomi steps closer to the counter where the remaining clerks stand stiff and pale. Her voice is calm, low, and precise, but it cuts through the silence like a blade. Claire was the loudest, but she wasn't the only one. Each of you will answer one question, right now, and your answer will decide if you're still standing here tomorrow. The clerks glance nervously at each other. Naomi doesn't wait. She gestures to the first clerk, a young man barely out of training, his hands shaking slightly. Tell me, when Claire raised her voice and called for security, why didn't you speak? Why didn't anyone say, check her name, check the list, before this escalated? The young man swallows hard, his voice trembling. I didn't want to lose my job. Claire, she always took charge, and I thought, maybe she was right. Naomi tilts her head slightly, her gaze steady. Fear is not an excuse for silence. If you want to work here, you will learn to stand up for what's right, or you won't work here at all. She turns to the next clerk, a woman in her late 30s whose eyes dart between Naomi and the crowd. And you? Did you agree with Claire? Or were you just too afraid to speak? The clerk stammers, her voice cracking. I didn't agree, Miss Williams, I swear. But Claire, she ran this desk like she owned it. I didn't think I had the authority to stop her. Naomi's tone stays cool but firm. If you wear this uniform, you have the authority to treat guests with respect, and the responsibility to speak up when someone else doesn't. If that feels impossible for you, you won't be here tomorrow. The clerks all nod, eyes down, their silence heavy with fear. The guests watch, murmuring softly. One whispers near the fireplace. She's rebuilding the whole staff dynamic, right here in front of us. Naomi takes a step back, addressing the entire front desk now. Tomorrow, each of you will report to a mandatory meeting at 7 a.m. sharp. New training. New policies. New expectations. If you can't meet those expectations, don't bother showing up. Mr. Hale adds, his deep tone like a gavel. Consider this your only warning. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest carries. She's tearing it down, just to build it stronger. A promise to the guests. The lobby feels calmer now, but the tension hasn't fully faded. The guests are still locked on Naomi, phones recording, waiting for what she'll say next. Naomi steps into the center of the lobby, her posture tall, her voice soft but carrying across the entire room. To every guest who stood here tonight, you didn't just watch an employee lose her job. You watched this hotel draw a line. From this moment forward, this place will not be about status, image, or assumptions. It will be about service and respect. The murmurs ripple through the crowd. Some nod quietly, others exchange glances. A woman near the lounge whispers. She's not just the owner, she's rebuilding the brand in real time. Mr. Hale steps closer, his deep tone reinforcing her words. Effective immediately, every Sterling Crest employee is accountable to this new standard. Disrespect a guest once, and you won't work here a second day. Naomi's tone softens slightly as she continues, her eyes meeting those of the guests one by one. If any of you ever feel this hotel is failing that promise, you won't need to fight to be heard. You'll be heard. Directly by me. The murmurs grow, approval this time, not just tension. A businessman near the bar nods, muttering to his wife. She's serious. She's actually going to turn this place around. Naomi takes one final glance toward the now empty space where Claire had stood, her tone deliberate. What happened tonight will not happen again. This is the Sterling Crest, as it should have been all along. The guests remain silent for a beat, then a few begin nodding, murmuring soft words of approval. The atmosphere begins to shift, the tension giving way to something closer to respect. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest lingers. She's not done yet, she still has to close this with something bigger. Beyond these walls. The tension in the lobby begins to ease, but a heavy sense of anticipation lingers. Guests slowly lower their phones, though many still record, whispering as Naomi steps away from the center of the room. Her two suited assistants approach, tablets in hand. One leans in, speaking quietly but clearly enough for the nearest guests to hear. Miss Williams, the board is expecting your statement within the hour. The footage is already being uploaded, along with full documentation of the incident. Naomi nods calmly, her tone soft but deliberate. Make sure it's clear this wasn't just an isolated event. This will be the standard moving forward, across every property I own. The second assistant adds, his voice low and measured. We flagged Claire's conduct for corporate review. HR will ensure her record reflects tonight, so she can't repeat this behavior anywhere in our chain. Naomi glances toward the lobby, where the front desk staff still stands stiff and silent. Her voice stays calm, but there's a finality in it. And the board needs to know, this hotel is no longer a risk. It's a promise. Starting tonight. The murmurs ripple through the guests again. A man near the lounge whispers to his companion. She's not just fixing this place. She's setting a precedent for every property she runs. Mr. Hale steps beside Naomi, his deep tone reinforcing the weight of her words. The board will approve every change you've made tonight. And by morning, this hotel will be operating under your standards, not its old habits. Naomi nods once, her posture steady, her tone soft but commanding. Good. Let's make sure everyone here understands, tonight wasn't about a confrontation. It was about change. And change doesn't stop when the cameras turn off. The guests murmur softly, a sense of awe replacing the earlier tension. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest echoes. She's rewriting the entire rulebook, right here, in front of us. Your choice. The lobby is quieter now, but the tension hasn't fully faded. The front desk staff still stand in a line, pale and stiff, eyes flicking nervously between Naomi and the murmuring guests. The atmosphere feels like a final judgment is coming. Naomi steps closer to the counter, her voice calm and deliberate, each word steady and measured. Tonight, you saw what happens when power is abused. But this isn't only about punishment. It's about rebuilding something better. The clerks exchange nervous glances but remain silent. Naomi continues, her gaze sweeping across each of them. You all have a choice right now. If you're willing to treat every guest with dignity, no excuses, no hesitation, you'll be trained, and you'll stay. If not, walk out with Claire. You won't be chased, but you won't be welcome back. The murmurs in the lobby grow louder. A guest near the bar whispers. She's giving them one last out. If they don't take it, she's clearing house. One of the younger clerks, trembling, steps forward slightly. Miss Williams. I want to stay. I want to do this the right way. I didn't know how to stop Claire. Naomi's calm gaze softens ever so slightly as she nods. Then you'll learn. And you'll speak up next time. Silence is no longer an option here. She looks to the others. None move toward the exit. A few nod slowly, murmuring quiet affirmations. We'll stay. We'll do better. Naomi straightens, her tone final but calm. Then be here at 7 a.m. sharp. New training. New rules. If anyone decides overnight that this isn't for them, they don't need to come back. Mr. Hale steps forward, his deep voice anchoring the decision. This is your one warning. There will not be another. The clerks nod, heads bowed, as the lobby settles into a heavy but orderly silence. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest carries. She's not just cleaning house, she's giving them a chance to be part of something new. The weight behind the calm. The lobby has grown still, the chaos of earlier replaced by a heavy, reflective quiet. Guests sit back in their chairs, phones still in hand but lowered, watching Naomi not with fear, but with something closer to respect. Naomi steps forward to the center of the lobby. Her posture is tall, but her tone softens as she looks to the guests. What happened tonight wasn't easy for anyone to watch. And I know, it wasn't easy for me to stand through either. The murmurs ripple softly. A woman near the lounge whispers to her partner. She's finally showing what this cost her, too. Naomi pauses, taking a quiet breath before continuing, her voice measured but sincere. I didn't come here tonight expecting this. But I've seen too many places, too many people, forget that respect is the foundation of everything. And I refuse to let this hotel, any hotel I own, be one of those places. Mr. Hale stands slightly behind her, his hands clasped behind his back, his deep voice reinforcing her words. Miss Williams could have walked away tonight. She could have handled this quietly, behind closed doors. But she chose to make sure every one of you, and every staff member here, saw that this place will be different moving forward. Naomi's eyes meet those of the guests one by one, her voice softening further. Luxury isn't about gold accents or marble floors. It's about how you feel when you walk through the doors. And from tonight forward, no one will ever be made to feel like they don't belong here again. The guests nod softly. Some whisper words of approval. A businessman near the fireplace mutters audibly. She's not just the owner, she's the reason people will trust this place again. Naomi allows the silence to settle, her presence calm but resolute. Fade to black. A faint whisper from a guest echoes. One more scene, and this story's sealed. The exit. The lobby is quiet but steady now, the earlier chaos replaced by a sense of order. The guests have lowered their phones, some still whispering, others just watching Naomi as she stands at the center one last time. Naomi glances toward the front desk staff, their faces pale, their postures straight, but their eyes showing something new, understanding. Her tone remains soft but unwavering. Tonight wasn't about me winning or anyone losing. It was about setting a standard that should have existed here all along. She turns slightly, her gaze sweeping the guests who have witnessed everything. When you come to the Sterling Crest, you won't need to wonder if you belong. You won't need to earn respect, you'll receive it. Always. The murmurs shift, softer, warmer this time. A guest near the lounge whispers audibly. She didn't just fire Claire. She fixed the whole place. Mr. Hale steps beside her, his deep tone measured. The board will hear of everything that happened tonight, but the message will be clear. This hotel has a new owner, and a new future. Naomi nods once, her calm expression steady. She glances toward the doors, where a sleek black car waits outside in the driveway, headlights casting soft light across the marble floor. As she walks toward the exit, her assistants fall into step behind her, tablets in hand. Before she reaches the doors, Naomi turns back briefly, her tone calm but resonant. Change doesn't start with walls or logos. It starts with people. And starting tonight, this hotel is changed. The guests remain silent, watching as Naomi steps out into the cool night air. The car door opens, and she slides inside without looking back. The lobby remains still for a long beat. Then, quietly, a guest near the fireplace mutters. That's not just an owner. That's someone who rewrote the rules, and made sure everyone saw it. The heavy lobby doors close, leaving the Sterling Crest forever different.